Frogs, I like the cricket thing you're doing there. Are you flirting with me?
Julle oulik.
I would have left music a long time ago if it wasn't for him.
So that's what I would suggest to the young musos. Get your ass in the car and go into it and go and play Backpackers.
You're listening to the Baascast Briefs. Just because it's short doesn't mean it can't be fun.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Baascast. I am Baas de Beer, and this is indeed my cast. On the couch next to me here at J-Room Rehearsal Studio in Silverton, I have got not only the owners of J-Room Rehearsal Studio, but also my lovely guests and members of the band called Hoot and Anny. There's Franco and Floy. Hello.
Away.
Hello.
Guys, it's such a privilege to talk to you essentially in your own living room, basically. I mean, this is like your third living room. It's your studio, but it's also the space where, I mean, so much good music is being made. But today we get to focus on Hoot and Anny. I've never really had the privilege of talking to you guys, other than, at festivals and when we kuier, but I mean in an interview. So, don't worry, today we are not friends, we are totally enemies, you are my guests. And this is my place now for the next 20 minutes. How are you guys doing? Welcome, hi.
Man, we're doing good, man. And just before we carry on, I'd just like to say I have known you as a friend for a very long time. But it is, for us, a really big honor to be on your show. And thank you for having us, man. And your life is good, man. Hootenanny is still Hootenanny.
Love it, dude. I must say, thanks so much, man. My first experiences of Hoot and Anny was, I think, probably at Strab, or it might have been 4, like in 2011.
Yeah, we've been privileged to play both. And
it has been so long, but to me, you guys always personify the idea of, the beautiful side of music. Because, you know as well as I do, there's an ugly side to music, there's a beautiful side, but there's always something beautiful about the two of you on stage. And I was wondering, just by virtue of introduction, if you could tell people that might not know Hoot and Anny, just in brief, give us the story and what you stand for and who you are and what it is like to observe Hoot and Anny.
All right, well, my name is Hoot in the band, and Annie's going to tell you the story, I think.
So, Hoot and Anny started when I started singing in the shower. And he recognized that. And we started singing in 2006. We did Heaven. And then from there on out, we sang, Honey, It Must Be Love. From Stacey Earle and Mark Stewart. And then from there on out, we just started singing. Actually, Albert Mankies it was at Strab that he gave us a slot, just a song to play on stage with him.
So essentially, your very first performance as Hoot and Anny was at Strab.
Yeah.
How special is that? I mean, most bands work their tits off. And they get there by virtue of playing 37 other inferior festivals, and then they get to Strab.
I know people who knows people, you know what I'm saying?
It is almost like there's a bit of nepotism.
He looks a little like me. He's a little big, same surname. So, I mean, we had, sometimes as a band, you got to take your opportunities, man. So what I think what happened was, yes, Conrad is a big part of it. He's one of the Strap Cats. And but those days, it was still Legend. I think it was Legend France. I think that, so, and then they, in Strab and Four, and what people don't know is these two companies worked together. There was never any animosity between the companies. And so what happened was we got to play Strab and Four in a very short time, and that was a big part of actually starting our career, where we got, I'm being on stage all my life, she's never been on stage, and where we got to the point where it's like, yeah, we can fucking do this, we can actually do that. And that's how it kind of started.
One thing that really is interesting to me is, I mean, Floyd, it was your first band, right? It was the first time performing on stage. How was it for you to get on stage? I mean, let's be honest. Franco has been in bands and on stages and performing music for slightly longer than that.
Oh, well, it was, I had some liquid confidence, you know? Um, I really appreciate them. Um, otherwise, it's just them that keeps me going. Otherwise, I would have left music a long time ago. That if it wasn't for him.
What I do think is, um, I I know I remember kind of, and I still have to do it. Is I have to remind her that butterflies that you're feeling. That's the one. That's why we do this. If that goes away, then do something else. So how I got her to get more confidence, to welcome yourself on stage, is to explain to her that butterflies, that's your steroids for being on stage.
Say it again, but louder.
Well, butterflies is your steroids for being on stage.
So if you don't have butterflies, you can still perform, but if you've got them, it just helps you.
It is the it's different for people that's never been on stage. It's not stressed. It's not didn't study my subject like that school feeling when you're not ready for a test. It's not that. It's a different kind of butterfly. It's like bungee jumping butterflies.
That's the first time that I heard someone explain it that way, because I think it must be daunting for someone that's never been on stage to, for the first time, experience that. Because I mean, I've been on stages and stuff pretty much. I've never really been faced by that. I've spoken about it before, but I think for someone like Floyd having to get on a stage, firstly, it's first time, and secondly, it's next to an experienced musician. Kudos to you, woman. Well done. Have you ever performed an open mic?
Yeah, I did.
I think that the reason why I ask is I regularly think that a lot of open mic musos, as you know, I'm very much involved in like the open mic scene, and so a lot of open mic musos get to experience that, which you experienced, and I honestly can't remember what that's like. Like I've never had that. I mean, I've had it obviously, but I mean, I felt it more with a comedy. I don't know, Franco, can you remember your first time on stage that you performed?
Oh yeah, very well. There's a few. It's quite blurry. Those and this thing. I was that young, but I did. I won a competition in Badplaas in 1985, I believe, and I sang "The Lady in Red" by Christo de Beer on a talent competition.
How old were you?
I think I was 8. I was born 77, so we're going to work it out like that, somewhere around there. No, but primary school. Like early, like graad 1, graad 2, primary school. And I won this competition, man. And my dad was in the band. There was a band called Mustang. The Mustang Orkest, the Mustang band, man, and they were jamming, and there was Theo and Johan Stolz on bass, my dad on guitars, and these cats, they were just into it. They're all other professions, teachers and farmers, but when they played band, it was band, man. So there, I got to learn how to patch a PA before I played instruments. So I grew up in that sense, but through that, I got to the place where I've seen this song 100 times. I fooled around on my dad's guitar or in his bass, on the drums. Yeah. And I got a jam session, kind of boogie woogie, almost Buddy Holly, because my dad explained a pentatonic to me. So I figured that out, and I got a slot, and I fucked it up completely.
I love it.
I started in the wrong key. I really screwed it up, and my dad was on bass, and my brother was on drums, and I think we were at. I think it was Dicololo. Some of those. I grew up on these resorts with my father's jobs, and so we were there, and I completely screwed it up, man. I started in the wrong key, and that's where the butterflies got the wrong side of me. It turned into nerves. It turned into chaos, basically. So I screwed it up. But so that was when I was very young, very very young, and then I got some. we always had pianos in the house, but I did actually study piano, so I got a grade 5. I never finished it, and but on stage. So honestly, since earning a little money, I would say it was since I was 16.
So you've been professional as a musician since the age of 16, and you drag your poor wife in it just because she dared open her mouth in the shower.
And did you look at her, man?
Well, I mean, look, let's not bullshit each other. In the looks department, she's definitely the leader in Hoot and Anny.
Nothing.
But I want to ask you, actually, I mean, you guys have been going now, as you say, we're pretty much standing on, what's it now, 12 to 15 years?
I think it's about 15.
Yeah.
We've
Now,
been married for. Oh, okay. So we've been married for about 16 this year. No, 17 this year. So we started 2 years after.
if you had to go back, right, 15 years ago, just to young Hoot and Anny, just starting out doing things, having learned the life lessons that you had now as, musicians, as parents, as couple, and as individuals, is there any advice that you would go back and give to yourself?
Oh, good question. They, well, do not start smoking again after you were pregnant. And then,
Got it.
and then, well, not really. We did it. We did it great. I think we did a good innings.
Yeah, there's still a great innings. I like the cricket thing you're doing there. Are you flirting with me?
Julle is oulik.
My gosh, bringing cricket into this conversation, man. I almost lost my train of thought. No, there are some serious lessons. Um, there's a balance between doing what you love and underselling yourself. We made that mistake. We undersold, if that is even an English word. Skies ek's Afrikaans, né?
Undersold is definitely a word.
Yeah, but that's a small mistake people can make. And remember, you don't need to be arrogant towards your pub owner or your gig. But you are allowed to say, but sir, it's going to cost me this much to get there. I'm not talking about the big bucks, not yet. But if you can cover my costs and my product is good enough, then I want to justify you paying me, because that's the other thing young musos make the mistake. They expect it. No, bro, you got to earn it. You got to earn it. So, in the beginning, don't go too high. Definitely don't go too low. That's a business move for the up and coming artists. And then the most important part is to keep that passion, to look forward to every show. Because if you start to walk out of that, then you got to figure out how to fix yourself. If you're not in the mood for a gig, by the time you get to the gig, you better be in the mood, because that turns you into a professional musician. You're not fucking around now, just playing just because you can play the guitar and just because you've got a great voice. You're not a muso yet, really. You got to earn it. It's 1,000 rule, 1,000 hours behind your instrument, 1,000 hours on the road, and 1,000 hours on stage. Then you're a muso.
I like that. So would you then say that having the opportunity to time travel back to young Hoot and Anny, let's say you gave them that advice, would you rather start now over again knowing better, or would you go through the journey the way that you did?
Just before I give it to Frankie, you know what? Yes, there's no regrets. But yes, I would have done stuff a little different. I would have learned earlier. I'm not just talking about our performances. I'm actually more specifically talking about the business side of being a musician. That was the most mistakes we made. Well, I made. The performance part, no, that's the life. That's what we do.
We paid our dues. We paid them 1,000 times around. Ons het, we
Because we made those mistakes.
we did that. So we played most of our gigs was backpackers. And we would go like, okay, we're going that way. So then we go, play to stay. Cool. Let's play to stay and get a meal maybe for free, whatever. And that's how we started. 30 days, 30 shows. It was fun.
And what Annie just said is some great advice, because I was on the kind of serious side of being a full time musician, but as a startup, dude, get your together with, like she said, like a backpacker play to stay show, because that will grow you in experience. You can't buy experience. You can study, but experience you got to earn. And but doing a backpacker show, and South Africa is still a good country for that. You can do that anytime. You can phone now. I can phone now. Get into the car, and I will have 5 gigs in 4 days before I hit B. That's the senior. So that's what I would suggest to the young musos. Get your ass in the car and go into it and go and play backpackers. Ask for the play to stay. That means you get a meal, you get lodging.
So get yourself 2 little speakers.
I think 2 little speakers.
And just play.
And just go. That is the best part of starting a band. Is it's not, you started this cricket thing. I can practice in the nets as much as I want to in cricket as a batsman. And I hit it all around the net. It means nothing till I get onto the field. And that's the same thing with music. And as a performing artist, you can sit in a rehearsal studio all your life and you sound great. It means nothing. It means something once you are on stage. That's what I'm in. I'm not a recording artist. I'm a performing artist. And I like it. And I'm proudly that. I'm not the best, but I fucking love it.
That quote should go on a t-shirt for 99.9. Have you ever thought about it this way? The beauty in music, the art in music is in the imperfections, and therefore the fact that there's literally only one best, and I use big air quotes here, every single other person in the world that's not the best is the rest of us. You know what? So whether you are only 70% not the best or whether you're 80% not the best, are you giving a decent product? Are you doing your best at your art? And are you at least investing in being better? I think that should be the measurement of what is a good musician, not did you win a fucking idols competition. But let's not go down that road.
Well, I have to say 1960s broke us all. When music came, the whole freaking shabam came out, 1950s, 1960s. Dolly Parton, Elvis, 1940s. What did I say? Any. So they broke us all. So every time they're like, oh, you just sound like Dolly Parton. Don't you want to sing the songs? Yeah. I don't wanna.
So basically, I mean, in the end, look, you guys are adorable. I think what you bring on stage is something unique, something special, and there's certainly something that is to be said about couples doing music together. I mean, you guys, I'm thinking Steve East and Jolene in the Honeymooners. Yeah. And, you know, there's just such a thing as seeing what is genuine, seeing what is love, and experiencing that through music. And I think we get that through you guys.
Well, the cool thing about it is because it's not a lie, dude. There's a reason why some of the best artists we listen to every day in your own playlist, your private playlist, whether it be Leonard or whether it be grunge, whether you're doing the 95 scene or you doing it doesn't matter, but you choose that. And I think once you experience that honesty, I think the love that shines through is because it's honest. That's why some bands, they're not based on a couple. They're based on a brotherhood of friends. But you can see it and you can feel it. That's honest music. And that's why I think, like the Honeymooners, like us, there's nothing fake. If you want this, book this. That's because that's what it is. It's not going to change.
Well, I like that. And I think that is a good point to say that if people want to book you, just give a quick shout out. What are they booking when they're getting Hoot and Anny and, motivate anyone to make a booking of Hoot and Anny. And by that, we're going to say thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. Well, is quite better to explain it.
No, you can book Hoot and Anny for a good time. I think we are.
That sounds like a bathroom
That's it.
scribble for a good time. Book Hoot and
For a
Anny.
good time, phone 0845. No, what I'm saying is, you will, there'll be some links, I'm pretty sure, to listen to what we do is, if you want that real, it's a real deal. It's a acoustic, folky, country, guitar, 2 people singing, sometimes 2 guitars, 3 people singing, but it's an honest, real, organic performance in the genre of old school country folk.
That is a mouthful, but so is your sets. Really enjoyed having you guys here. And thank you that I could be recording a couple of Baascast Briefs in J-Room Studios today.
Yeah, welcome anytime. Really.
Last shout out to the studio is that if bands want to come and rehearse here, they can contact you guys and
via Facebook. It's the easiest.
I'll be
you can
dropping
go
links in all the
thank you.
descriptions
Thanks,
and
man.
so forth. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, gentlemen. Well, lady and gents. Oh, man. Thank you so very much for watching this or listening to this episode of the Baascast Briefs. It was my privilege to chat to Hoot and Anny, Franco and Floy. Good friends, good musos, just a good people. And thank you so very much again, J-Room, that we could host you. Thank you for sharing, liking, subscribe. Wait, I don't say that. What do I say? Thank you so much for clicking buttons and sharing shit. Appreciate it. Cheers. Thank you for listening to this Baascast, and thank you so much, Audio Torch, for sponsoring the camera gear.